Coming up on Naperville News 17. Slow going for the Fifth Avenue project now put on hold. But the Green Farm barn revamp may be getting a kickstart. And kids get schooled in slime for some ooey gooey fun. Hello everyone, I'm Kim Pierce. Thanks for joining us for this week's Naperville News. The Fifth Avenue redevelopment project was discussed again at the latest Naperville City Council meeting. Naperville News 17's Casey Krajewski has more.
The city has gained an advocate in the Fifth Avenue redevelopment project. SB Friedman Development Advisors will act as third-party counsel for the city during negotiations with the site's developer, Ryan Companies. According to the agreement, Friedman will assist the city by providing the city analytical, strategic, and financial consulting services in support of the redevelopment.
We need somebody who does this for a living. We don't. We're not experts at that. So they're going to be a really important partner in making sure that we get the best deal as a city that we can get.
Council unanimously approved hiring Friedman for $100,000 with a 10% contingency. Though City Attorney Michael DeSanto said that agreement could be renegotiated to a value-based contract down the road. Council also voted unanimously for Ryan Companies to remain in Phase 1 of their concept creation process for the Fifth Avenue project.
The difference between Stage 1 and Stage 2 is tremendous. That's where everyone is together and we're rowing in one direction. We are nowhere near that.
This is the second time Ryan Companies requested to move to Phase 2, concept refinement, after Council also voted to delay the transition at its September 18th meeting. The current concerns from Council and the public are largely the same as at that meeting: parking and a location for the DuPage Children's Museum.
And before Phase 2 begins, a suitable Phase 1 concept should be created and publicly reviewed. That concept should include Council's direction on the DuPage Children's Museum, Council's direction on commuter parking, recommendations by SB Friedman should they be approved as a third-party advocate, and serious consideration of community input received to date.
Neither of Ryan Companies' two initial concepts include any additional commuter parking, even though the current wait list for spots is estimated at 14 years long. City staff said they are working to figure out how many parking spots need to be added to significantly reduce the waiting time for commuter parking. That information will be presented at a November City Council meeting. For Naperville News 17, I'm Casey Krajewski.
Ryan Companies' transition to Phase 2 will be discussed at Council's December 4th meeting. A new business is coming to the Ogden Avenue corridor. WashU recently came before Naperville City Council looking for zoning variances to move into the lot at 1150 East Ogden Avenue, formerly occupied by Las Palmas Mexican Restaurant. But Council had some concerns about letting them move into the irregularly shaped space, including the potential pollution of well water to nearby homes. Representatives from WashU said their water recycling system filters into concrete chambers, meaning most water wouldn't even leave the washing area.
We also are concerned about the neighborhood and making sure that we're doing the right thing, and by doing all of these sustainable things, we think we're contributing to a better environment for our neighbors.
Some council members wanted to add a provision to require a groundwater test after a year, but others felt it was unnecessary. In the end, most council members were excited to see a vacant lot filled in a corridor they are actively trying to revitalize. Council voted 6-3 in WashU's favor. Council was also happy to see an Ogden Avenue pole sign come down. A Verizon wireless antenna may be coming to the top of the Main Street Promenade. The Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously approved the addition of a Verizon wireless antenna to the top of the Main Street Promenade located at 55 South Main Street in downtown Naperville. City staff and the commission were in support of the new antenna due to its low visual impact.
I know that attention has been given to making sure that it is as seamless and compatible color-wise and being as unobtrusive as possible, so I will be supporting.
The antenna will only extend an additional 7 feet beyond the 60-foot roof of the building and will only be visible from a distance. The proposed antenna still has to pass City Council's final approval. The plan proposed for the controversial Polo Club subdivision has been modified. Naperville News 17's Blaine Irwin has the details.
In June, developer D.R. Horton came forward with a plan to annex and develop the unincorporated polo fields at 119th Street. The 723-unit proposal, with a mix of single-family houses, townhomes, and apartment buildings, received pushback from residents for its high density and potential safety and traffic impacts. The proposal was reduced to 702 units before coming to the Planning and Zoning Commission in July, where it got a split 3-3 vote or no recommendation, positive or negative. Since then, D.R. Horton has made some more changes to the plan, including a further reduction of unit count to 637, moving single-family homes to sit adjacent to the South Point subdivision instead of townhomes, and the addition of 4.25 acres of parkland. But residents with the Plan For Us group say these changes don't really address their concerns.
We have South Point single-family homes, we have High Meadows single-family homes, we have Wolf Creek single-family homes, and then they're trying to build in here at the polo field single-family homes, townhomes, and apartments, which is really not compatible.
The new plan puts density at approximately 5.75 households per acre, about twice as much as the neighboring subdivisions, with between 2 and 3 households per acre. Residents say that high density will have a big impact on traffic that's already bad, even with D.R. Horton's plan to pay for the addition of a third lane to 119th Street.
That also doesn't do anything for the traffic, which backs up from Route 59 all the way down to Book Road on occasion, more often than not during traffic hours.
The Forest Preserve District of Will County is also concerned about the development and its impact on Riverview Farmstead, which is down the DuPage River from Polo Club.
We could very well have some issues, and I know we have issues right now even without anything being developed there and having flooding. You know, it's a floodplain. That raises a lot of flags.
Though D.R. Horton did not respond to requests for comment, they will be presenting their modified plan at the Naperville City Council meeting on November 7th, when council is slated to vote on the project. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Blaine Irwin.
After the break, District 203 takes a stand against arming teachers.
We live in a safe community, but not a crime-free community. If you see something, say something. Be a Naperville Crime Stopper.
The District 203 board unanimously voted to oppose a resolution that would support arming teachers. Naperville News 17's Christine Lena has more.
The District 203 board received resounding applause after voting against a resolution that would support arming teachers or school staff.
On a personal level, I think that just knowing that guns in my school make me and many other students feel anxious and nervous. Students need to feel safe, and so do the teachers, in order to do their jobs well.
Dozens of community members came out to the board's most recent meeting in opposition of the School Safety and Protection Plan resolution, which was presented to the Illinois Association of School Boards' 2018 Resolutions Committee for consideration. It supports the option for faculty and staff to complete background checks, have an Illinois concealed carry license, and complete training courses in order to carry a gun in school.
This is my 40th year in education. I've been asked to do many things outside my role as a teacher. Some I have agreed with, some I have not. But carrying a firearm into my classroom, I nor my colleagues are willing to do. Nor are we willing to be in a school where other than fully trained police officers are carrying firearms.
Similar comments against the resolution were made by 8th grader Peyton Ahrens, a representative from Moms Demand Action, a 203 parent, and a number of emails. The board commended the 203 community for voicing their concerns, and each board member explained why they couldn't support the resolution.
I also am opposed to the resolution. I think we have a duty of leadership here. This ISB resolution would send our public policy in a particular direction, so we have the responsibility to oppose it and change that direction.
The public's comments will be incorporated in a statement district staff is currently writing up for why they oppose the resolution, which will be presented along with 203's no vote to the IASB at its delegate assembly on November 17th. That's where IASB will decide whether to approve or deny the resolution based on the votes from all of Illinois' school districts. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Christine Lena.
Nearly 10,000 public school leaders and guests are expected to attend the IASB's joint annual conference held in Chicago. Parents and teachers had a chance to experience the challenges of having dyslexia. Dyslexia Action Group of Naperville partnered with Everyone Reading Illinois to bring a dyslexia simulation to the 95th Street Library. While the simulations cannot exactly recreate what it's like to have dyslexia, they're meant to make reading and writing, which most of us find simple, as difficult as they are for those with dyslexia.
So the simulation is designed to allow those of us who don't have it to develop our patience and our empathy and our understanding. It helps us work better with our own kids or students.
For Chris Jacks, father of a third grader with dyslexia, the simulations did just that.
I won't try to correct her as quickly and give more time and be more patient for her to read through words, and also realize that the comprehension is a problem. Even if she struggles to read a few pages, she may not have comprehended the story, so she doesn't know what the story was about. So I have to remember that too after she reads.
And teachers who attended the event could receive professional development credit. The simulations were held as part of Dyslexia Awareness Month. A Neuqua Valley student recently started a nonprofit organization. NCTV 17's Casey Krajewski tells us about PowerMinds.
Arnav Betty was struggling with honors pre-calculus last year as a sophomore at Neuqua Valley High School.
So I went to my parents, and they're originally from India, so they learned math and every other subject pretty much completely different. And so they couldn't really teach it to me, and it was too late at night to get a tutor to come over to my house or meet anywhere. So they found online tutoring. It was actually pretty expensive. It was like an average of like $60 an hour. So I was like, I did good on the test because of that, but then I was thinking like, what about the kids who don't have this?
And so he came up with the idea for PowerMinds, a free online tutoring service for students 13 and older. His dad, an IT professional, helped him design the website, but he still needed help getting it off the ground. Betty met with Mayor Steve Chirico, looking for ideas to help grow the nonprofit.
And so I introduced him to Kamala Martinez, who's the executive director of Kids Matter. And they met, and she was very excited about that because it's just a great other resource to offer families who, again, have that need.
Now, more than 80 tutors have made themselves available on PowerMinds. They offer tutoring in a variety of subjects like science and math, along with other resources like business and counseling advisors. Currently, around 60 students receive tutoring, but Betty has his sights set much higher.
But I feel like we could get more, because it's a great product that we've created that could be used throughout anybody, and it's completely free. So I mean, why wouldn't you use it,
For Naperville News 17, I'm Casey Krajewski.
While PowerMinds currently does their own research on their tutors before acceptance, they'll soon be instituting background checks as well. The Green Farm Barn is now a step closer to getting developed. The Forest Preserve District of DuPage County President Joe Cantore recently announced that Commissioner Tim Whelan is in support of putting an action item on an upcoming commission meeting agenda focused on the barn.
It's part of our history, and it's part of our responsibility to preserve that history in DuPage County, particularly with regard to farming and where we came from as an agrarian society.
Now that the project has support from the necessary amount of 2 commissioners, those being Whelan and Mary Lou Worley, Cantore says he'll establish an ad hoc committee for the Green Barn. Back in 2012, the Forest Preserve Board spent over $1 million to stabilize the 19th century barn. Since then, it has sat vacant on the corner of Hobson and Green Road, while the public has only recently grown interest in its potential use. Cantore and the Forest Preserve Commission will define the scope of the ad hoc committee and recommend members to sit on it to be approved at an upcoming November meeting. Coming up, moms and daughters unite for an empowering lesson.
Millions of Americans suffer from the debilitating effects of chronic knee pain, arthritis, and osteoarthritis. If you are one of them, remember, no matter what you've been told, drugs, steroids, and knee replacement surgery are not your only options anymore. Call the number on your screen right now because you could qualify for a remarkable breakthrough treatment that helps relieve your knee pain without pills or surgery. This remarkable and innovative treatment replenishes the lubricant in your joints that may be lost due to age or injury. This all-natural, FDA-approved product is introduced into the knee, creating a comfortable cushioning layer that protects and lubricates the joint, allowing you to enjoy smooth, pain-free movement once more. This promising treatment, considered to be the first major breakthrough in years for relieving knee pain, is covered by most insurance plans, including Medicare. If you just can't deal with your knee pain any longer, then call the number on your screen right now to see if you qualify for this emerging knee pain treatment. This call could bring you the relief you need to change your life and get you back on your feet.
Fire department staff who have shown excellence to residents received some extra recognition. The Citizens Appreciate Public Safety, or CAPS Awards, are meant to recognize Naperville fire personnel who've gone above and beyond the call of duty to help residents. And it's residents who nominate all CAPS Award recipients for the annual fall ceremony. Notable awards of the night include the Fire Explorer of the Year Award, which went to J.T. Giovanni, and the prestigious George Winkler Award, which went to Deputy Chief Andrew Dyna.
This is the highest honor that you can receive on the Naperville Fire Department, and I am so honored to have received this. I know Lieutenant Winkler, Lieutenant George Winkler and I worked together over 29 years ago when I first started on the job. He was a great man, a great person.
The George Winkler Award was named in honor of Lieutenant George Winkler, who served the fire department from 1965 to 1991 when he was killed in a training incident. There's also a CAPS Award ceremony held every spring to honor Naperville's police staff. Mothers and daughters were in for a unique bonding experience that packed a punch. Our own Christine Lena tells us about the self-defense class that brought them together.
A self-defense class may be an uncommon way for a mom to bond with her daughter, but it was special enough to get the attention of many Metea Valley families.
The invitation came across email and I immediately sent a text over to Claire because she was still at school and said, "Hey, are you interested?" And she bounced right back and said yes.
Within just 36 hours of being posted, Metea's first mother-daughter self-defense class was filled. It was an idea that came about after health and PE teacher Ashley Abruscato took a self-defense class with a coworker.
And when we arrived, we found out that One Light was the organization that was providing the training. And we went for our first 2.5-hour training and we absolutely loved it and we learned so much. We literally ran back to school to our department chair and we were like, we have to include this in our curriculum. And our administration was very supportive in us bringing them to our school, and that's how we incorporated them for the first time into our PE program.
After that, Abruscato was determined to get Metea families involved in a self-defense class together. She started by organizing a One Light self-defense class for after-school hours aimed at mothers and daughters.
I wanted to take it mostly because I'm going off to college soon, and I think it's a prevalent issue in college campuses everywhere, but I also know that now I know that like it happens anytime. It can happen day or night. It can happen at a supermarket or when you're walking down the street. I just think it's important to know it.
The pairs got to learn about striking techniques to the eyes, throat, and groin, as well as how to be ready for defending an attack.
This is guard hand. I've simply placed my arms like a shield in front of myself.
They also discussed preventative safety techniques, like walking in groups, parking in well-lit areas, and staying alert when going places alone. Abruscato hopes the high interest in the class can lead to more in the near future. Reporting for Naperville News 17, I'm Christine Lena.
If you're interested in taking a class with One Light Self-Defense, you can learn more on their website. The Naperville Park District is partnering with the American Cleaning Institute to promote a new safety measure. Laundry pods are highly concentrated detergent packets meant to make washing your clothes easier. However, they're also very toxic, and their bright colors can make them look like toys or candy to small children. According to the American Association of Poison Control Centers, in 2017, 10,500 children younger than 5 were exposed to laundry pods. Hashtag Packets Up is a new initiative promoting parents to keep laundry packets out of the reach of children.
It's basically getting your packets, laundry detergent, dishwasher detergent, any kind of cleaners out of the reach of children.
The American Cleaning Institute chose Naperville as the pilot city for the program. If 750 people post a photo on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter with the hashtag #PacketsUp, the Park District will receive a $10,000 donation toward the development of the 95th Street Community Plaza. One lucky poster will also receive a new washer and dryer. The Packets Up competition runs through November 16th. Naperville's test track was recently the site of a sedan challenge. Naperville News 17's Blaine Irwin has more.
Cars.com's editorial team took 3 of the website's best-selling midsize sedans to the Naperville Auto Test Track on Jefferson Street. While the test track is normally used for dealership test drives, Cars.com thought it was the perfect place to push the Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, and Nissan Altima to their limits.
We could have taken it to a much bigger track, a racing track, obviously, but the thing about this track is that it really kind of suits cars like this. I mean, these are Accords, Camrys, and Altimas. These are 3 of the most popular nameplates among mid-size sedans. These are cars you see in everybody's driveway out there.
And pushing a car hard is an important part of evaluating how it drives. Cars that behave similarly in everyday driving may behave very differently at their limits, whether that's on a track or in an emergency braking or swerving situation.
Kind of a third of a mile handling loop plus a 12,000 square foot skid pad to evaluate sort of ride and handling, acceleration, braking, a lot of stuff that we can do very safely here versus on public roads.
Since driving dynamics aren't the only concern for family sedan buyers, Cars.com is evaluating other aspects of the cars for its challenge.
We take them through evaluations of interior quality, seating space, we measure our own cargo room, we look at safety features, we even check how well car seats fit into each of these 3 back seats.
But for testing these everyday consumer cars on their drivability, Cars.com may be coming back to Naperville to test these cars like local buyers do.
This is a really good environment to get more that you're going to experience out of a car and really analyze more about how it turns, how it corners, you know, what kind of dynamics it has, how it brakes and accelerates in sort of a closed course, safe environment. Remember, safety is a really, really important reason you'd come and experience these cars here.
Cars.com is going to take the results from their tests here and put them up on their website for consumers to compare. From the test track, I'm Blaine Irwin for Naperville News 17.
Cars.com has other Naperville connections too. In February this year, it acquired local startups Launch Digital Marketing and Dealer Inspire. Up next, we'll get you ready for the postseason in girls volleyball and boys soccer.
Since 2001, families and friends have been caught reading Positively Naperville. At home, around town, and all over the world. Thanks for reading, in print and online.
Medici Neapolitan Pizza has created the magic of an Italian piazza right in downtown Naperville. Choose from the freshest ingredients available, and all their sauces are prepared on site. Enjoy salads with dressings made from scratch, to shareable plates that celebrate the flavors of Italy, to the pizza of your dreams. From the olive tree in the center of the restaurant to the imported Italian wood-fired oven, if you want a more authentic Italian experience, you need a passport.
The high school girls volleyball season begins regional play in less than a week. But first, the Naperville North Huskies look to secure the DPC championship against their only conference foe to defeat them this season, Neuqua Valley. Let's go to Ryan Risky with the results from Naperville North.
It was senior night here at Naperville North. The Huskies had revenge on their minds as the Wildcats from Neuqua Valley came into town, who handed the Huskies their only conference loss of the season. And it would come down to 3 sets. However, it would be a thriller. In the first set, the Huskies got off to a 17-9 lead over Neuqua. However, the Wildcats rallied back and were able to take the first set 25-21. The second set was much of the same. The Huskies got off to a quick start. Neuqua came storming back. However, the Huskies didn't let up, and they fought all the way to the end, eventually taking the set 29-27 to force the third set and trying to get the seniors a win. The third set, however, was back and forth the whole time, with Neuqua eventually able to come away with a 25-20 win and hand the Huskies just their second loss in conference play. Despite the loss for the Huskies, they still claim the DVC crown, and we very well could see these two teams play each other next week in the regional title game. For Naperville News 17, I'm Ryan Riskey.
Thanks, Ryan. Here are the sectional seeds for the postseason. We see Bennett Academy is at the top after winning the ESCC, while DVC champ Naperville North is the 2 seed. While the volleyball playoffs are about to begin, the boys soccer regionals are in full swing. Neuqua Valley and Naperville Central meet in the regional semifinals. Near the end of the first half, Redhawks trailing 1-0 when Owen Juro, with some fancy footwork through the defense before rolling a shot past the keeper into the net for the equalizer. In the second half, the game still tied at 1. Tom Bludgeon controls the ball and somehow makes an incredible spin through the defense and fires the go-ahead goal into the corner of the net. Neuqua takes the lead and hangs on for a 2-1 win. The Wildcats advance to the regional final to face undefeated Naperville North. Medici Valley traveled to Plainfield North in another regional semifinal. And let's jump right into the second half. Neither team could get going offensively until the game went into overtime. 50 seconds into the first extra session, James Lynch connects with Sharifa Moore, who scores the game-winning goal. Mustangs goalie Gandhi Cruz preserves the shutout as Medici Valley advances to the regional final to face Oswego. The Napier Prairie Conference Middle School Cross Country Championships were held yesterday at Frontier Sports Complex behind Neuqua Valley High School. The 7th grade girls team race was won by Kennedy Junior High, with Jefferson finishing second and Washington third. Kennedy also won the 7th grade boys race, while Madison took second and Lincoln third. Washington Junior High won the 8th grade girls race, Lincoln took second, and Crone grabbed third place. The 8th grade boys race was won by Lincoln ahead of Jefferson in second and Crone in third. Congratulations to the hundreds of runners across all 12 schools on a great season. That's it for sports this week. Kim, back to you.
Thanks, Stephanie. Don't forget, you can find the latest highlights of the high school sports season on Naperville Sports Weekly and on nctv17.com. Ooey gooey monsters and casting magic spells got a group of young wizards into the Halloween spirit. Screams were in the air when the Naperville Park District recently held a cool science activity night, combining STEM learning with enchanting fun.
We're all about hands-on science. Often at this age group, 3 to 5 years old, they're a little bit afraid to be dirty, probably because the parents are like, don't touch this, don't touch that. But in our classes, they have the permission to touch everything. And what's fun is they learn about science without really knowing it, that it's educational and fun at the same time.
The group used their magic to create a colorful spell over some ghost tears. Then they practiced their powers by blowing up balloons with no hands. And they created their own Franken Slime baby monsters. Cool Science hosts events with the Naperville Park District once a month, and you can register for their next class on the Park District's website. And that's what's happening right here in your neighborhood, Naperville. We'll see you next week. Until then, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our website, nctv17.com, for daily updates.
This week's Naperville News 17 is brought to you in part by the following sponsors. This program is partially funded by a grant from the City of Naperville.